Hello, lovely people. Welcome to What the Fuck Sunday. Let me put the little tag up there. There we go. I know y'all are like, who is this? I haven't seen her since forever. You're right. Because I've been busy doing who knows what, just all kind of stuff. But anyway, tonight is our first of the year advice live stream. We're supposed to be doing this every week, and I do try, but it just doesn't happen. And so what people do, they send in their letters. I'll give you the information on how to submit a letter a little bit later in the show. And you send in your letter. Go to debsterism.com and send it in. And then Candace, my cousin, puts the column together for me by, reading through the letters and picking some. And today we have, it looks like 32. Hold on a second. Let me double check. 32. Yeah, 32 questions. Wow, that's a lot. I guess this is my punishment for not showing up. But anyway, it's good to see everybody. Let me get over here to the comment section where everybody is at so I can see what's happening. Hey, Ash. Shay the Bay. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all that good stuff. For those of you who I missed. So let's get started. The first show of 2025. Can you believe it's 2025 already? I know everybody's been saying it, but I swear these years, the older I get, the faster the years go by. People still be paying off the debt from last Christmas. Oh, hey, everybody. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Jacksonville, Florida. The male in question is 35 to 41. Summary of issue. Greeting partner at the door when he returns from work. Do you greet your husband or partner at the door when they return from work? I'm usually busy cooking a dinner or tidying up when he comes home, so I usually carry on doing what I'm doing rather than run to meet him in the hallway. He says I am cold towards him and he would love me to leave what I'm doing to greet him as he walks in the door after a busy day at work. I would never expect him to do that to me and would find it weird if he did. To tell the truth, I'm finding him becoming very needy lately, whereas I am the opposite and have never been quite as needy for affection and attention. What do you think is going on with him, Deb? He just turned 40 in September and I am 34. We have 2 school-age children. Okay, so she didn't say how long they've been together, but they got 2 school-age kids, so I mean, it's at least, 6 or 7 years. Tell your husband that if he wants somebody to wag their tail and run to him to get a dog, that's what he needs. Because the dog will they be looking out the window waiting for you. Dogs and babies. They look out the window and wait for you to come in. The women, like you said, they usually have something going on and it's like, he could do that too. And I just said, well, what's wrong with it? But see, he wants to feel important, like when he walks in the door. I know what he's like. He wants to feel acknowledged, like, like people are happy to see him and, welcome him into the door. And, like, remember in Leave It to Beaver and all them little shows, like with Wally and him, how the woman would greet him at the door and bring him his slippers and his pipe and his smoking jacket. I think he's looking for some kind of stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, get you a dog and just make it work. Okay. Somebody will come over there, jumping on you, wagging their tail and licking at you, and then you'll be happy. And then you can work your way into the kitchen where I am, preparing dinner for our 2 school-age children and you and myself so that we can eat at a sensible time before midnight. Yeah, or like Anna says, you go over and you greet her. You see she's busy doing something, so you take yourself to where she is and then give her a hug and a kiss. That's how normal people do it. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but I don't agree that this, he's just being crazy. Girl, yes, food or money. Either of those. I'll greet you at the door for that because I want to get it while it's hot. And see, someone else says that you should say, honey, I'm home, and greet her. See, so there's a lot of different, people gave you a lot of different suggestions for you to share with him. But I think since you said like this sounds like it's new behavior from when he turned 40 in September, I would sit down with him and say, what's going on with you lately? So, you seem to be like in a more needy state lately, and I'm trying to figure out why. So can you, and don't argue with him, don't fight. Just ask the question because there's obviously something happening with dude. Hey, Renee. Life's Fun 101. I like that screen name. Okay, so let's move on to question number 2 because that's one that we're going to be scratching our heads over for a minute. Question number 2, this is a male 18 to 21. He's Asian from Winnipeg, Canada. The female in question is 22 to 27 and she's white. Summary of issue: how do I get over and heal from being used and manipulated? Long story short, I am 21 and she's 23, and I'm writing because she manipulated and used me, which sounds like an insane claim, but she admitted it herself near the end. While she did say just casual at first months ago, she admitted to using me. Wow. She did a 180 and demanded relationship treatment in which I was dumb enough to fall for due to her clinginess and love bombing. She asked for dates, but then complains about them not being good enough, to being rude, then going back to hot and being clingy. It eventually got to a point where she would act cruel and insult me, either straight up or indirectly towards my maturity and intelligence. One night she makes a confession to having strong feelings, but I see past it. That same day, she makes the exact same confession to somebody else through various posts on social media. Wow. In addition, I'm now finding out that she brutally emotionally cheated on her ex. When I tell her why I didn't feel it was genuine, she lied about love bombing and then got defensive and accusatory. Okay, young lad, why did you continue dealing with her? When somebody disrespects you like the first time, you might have a conversation about it so they understand that this ain't the lick. But after that, why would you stay in a situation where somebody's treating you like this? So let's go on and see how this thing ended. This prompted me to want to break it off, but I felt so dependent to her cleanness and pullback method. Around our last hangout, she sleeps over and she's very short and quiet until she wants to sleep with me. After I do that, she continues to insult me and act very rude. I say something defending myself and she then acts sad. And when I check to see if she's okay, she started smiling and laughing. Okay, she's evil. That was enough for me to finally take action, and we broke up 4 days ago. I stupidly let her know I see through all that she's doing, but not directly enough. Either way, she sees I'm not useful as I know what's going on now, so she cut it off. I feel so gross with myself seeing the obvious signs, such as her smiling after manipulating me, her lies, and essentially admitting to using me for my body. Any advice helps. Well, I gave you the advice mid-letter. You need better boundaries and you need to have more self-respect, because I understand, because I know I have a whole bunch of Asian friends and associates and, people I used to work with and whatever. And in certain aspects, the culture is not very, it's not a good thing to, to like have pride in yourself and do this kind of stuff like that. People see you as arrogant and it's a negative. So a lot of people will downplay that part and make it seem like they're, overly solicitous and all this stuff like that, where in reality, you as a young man in the United States of America, you can't get down like that. You have to tell people, what you're gonna accept from them and what you're not. And this conversation, you should have had that a long time ago with Homegirl, because she just she definitely is. And then she manipulated him and then look sad. So he gets, he's scared about her. So he gets affected. And then she turned around and laughed in his face. See, that deserved a good cussing out. That's what that did. These people coming here with some interesting screen names tonight. Somebody got, there's Life's Fun 101 and Jazz and Laughter. New names I haven't seen before. If I saw them, I forgot. So isn't that interesting? That really makes me sad because you sound like a nice kid, But you do better. Don't date women older than you. And the first time they disrespect you in any way, you cut that off immediately, okay? Don't do this to yourself. Question number 3. This is a male, 35 to 42. We got 32 questions. Those of you who like these long-ass shows. He's 35 to 42. He's Caucasian from Windsor in the UK. The female in question is 35 to 42 also, and she is Asian. Summary of issue: navigating the financial strain of a spouse's dad asking for money. We're a married couple. I'm 40 and she's 36, and we have 4-year-old twins. And we're just trying to build up our wealth after buying a home last year. Things are fine in that area, all things considered. However, recently her dad has been asking for money. He is 60 years old and in good health, so he can still work. But 3 times in the last 2 months, after not hearing him need any financial help for the prior 5 years, he asked for $500 for energy bills and $300 for food is being sent now. It's tough. Her dad is nice and all, but this is a strain. I worry constantly about having to fund this man's weekly or monthly budget. I'm not seeing a scenario where things get better for him anytime soon. He's a capable chiropractor who's just made bad bets in life. He can get a job. How do I handle this situation? I'm fond of the man as a person, but I see the torpedoes this presents as we try to stay afloat ourselves in a high cost of living area. To cover my ass a bit, yes, we can help him as family should. We're here for legitimate support when in dire straits, but I'm worried about a new trend and precedent being set. My goal would be short-term help that communicates his need to step up versus relying on us, and increasingly so. Am I just being a selfish jerk? I need suggestions on how to best handle this. You sit down with father-in-law and your wife, and you say, this is not going to become a habit. And we helped you. We gave you $800. We'll give you maybe another $300 next month, and then that's it. That's the cutoff. Don't ask us for money. We have 2 kids and a house to pay for ourselves. We cannot afford to take care of you. Now, the choices that you made in the past in your life are coming back to bite you, to catch up with you. If you don't have no money, you better start selling some of the stuff you have. I know he didn't say that. Thanks, Mary Elizabeth. He didn't say anything about siblings, so I'm not going to guess that they do. See, I don't stick to what's in the letter. So, he's talking about him and his wife, and the father's asking them. So who else he may be asking or whatever, that's not part of this discussion. But what he's going to have to do is take the lead. In our household, we have a strict budget. This is blowing our budget. We have 2 little kids to take care of. We don't have money we can't afford to support you. So you said you got stuff to sell, you better start selling it, get you a part-time job, do whatever you need to go teach something somewhere, whatever you need to do, because they have them chiropractic colleges, he can go and work there. And so, give him some suggestions and then refer him to the senior center for them free meals and all that, the grocery, what they call them, the food banks and stuff to get himself some groceries if he's that tight up on money. So, he might just need some suggestions, but, the main thing is if he's 60 years old, he has a lot of stuff that he could sell if he needs money. Tell him to do that. Question number 4. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Tucson, Arizona. A female, 28 to 34 as well. Summary of issue. My fiance might be emotionally abusive and I feel stuck. Might be. There's some things that my fiance does a lot of things that are hurtful and keep me from being my best self. So why the fuck you with her then? You people kill me with these raggedy ass people and these stupid ass relationships, and then you write me, getting my nerves all worked with this nonsense. She needs my constant attention. She screams at me at the top of her lungs during a disagreement. Doesn't like if I need time alone to relax. Nitpicks most of what I do. Manipulates situations through intimidation to get me to do what she wants. I have felt stuck in this relationship for a long time and I don't know what to do. You cuss her bitch ass out. That's what you do. And she starts screaming until you scream louder. When she needs your attention, tell her go get a dog or something that she wants somebody all up in her face all the time. If she doesn't like when you need time alone to relax, leave out the house and go relax somewhere else then. You know what I mean? If she nitpicks, tell her to shut the fuck up and stop complaining about every goddamn thing. She manipulates situations through intimidation. Well, you're supposed to buck up and be a man and not let her intimidate you. What's she gonna say? You're not getting no noogie. So nobody want that dried up shit anyway. If the person that's attached to is all stupid and funky. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I would let somebody manipulate me with Nook. That person that's got that power ain't been born yet. So then he continues. He says, I have tried so many times to tell her these things bother me, and she changes for a short period of time and then goes right back to her ways. This is how she is, and you see this how she is. What you talking about? My friends are seeing these things and either no longer want to hang out with me or stop speaking to her. I feel sick to my stomach, and my gut tells me that this is not right. She needs my 24/7 attention. This is through constant texting and saying random things to divert my attention from whatever I was doing so that I can look at her. She has gotten angry and aggressive with me many times when I haven't responded back to a text within a specified time. She will text me things like, hello, why haven't you responded? I would turn my phone off. And then he goes on and on about this stuff. And she says, screams at him, F you, why don't you go ahead and break up with me? You suck. You don't even care about me. Wow. He goes and gives out like all these examples. And she's resorted to crying to get him to stay home when he wants to go hang out with his friends. You just being home crying, I'd be gone. I don't care about that kind of stuff. Any conversation, she brings things back to herself. My friends have expressed concerns, and some don't want to hang out with me anymore because they can't stand her. I can't stand her just in reading this letter. Lately, I feel sick to my stomach and feel like I'm going crazy. My body is telling me this is all wrong, and my anxiety is through the roof. I feel trapped in this relationship. I don't think I can go through with the wedding, which is 6 months away. I feel terrible saying it, but I'm hitting a breaking point. Dude, you good, because I would have broke up with this cow long ago. I don't know what you're doing. And when somebody invites you to break up with them, you should do that. Okay, you should follow through. When somebody ever said to me, there's two people that said that, well, if I'm so messed up, why don't you break up with me then? And I said, you know what, you're right. And proceeded to get my stuff and put it in my, like some little shopping bags or whatever stuff I had in this house. And I was out the door. Don't invite me to have a good time. Don't invite me to improve my lifestyle, because I'm going to take you up on it. Yeah, because I told him not to send you one, Giggles. I said, you can send everybody. No, don't send her one. No, don't send her one. We're going to have a Giggles-free January. But I see it didn't work. She came anyway. I'm just messing with you. She's funny. I just like to mess with her. Anyway, let's move on from this poor, sad guy. I hope he finds the courage to, care for himself and not be so concerned about her silliness. Question number 5. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Seattle, Washington. The female's 22 to 27. Summary of issue. How should my girlfriend and I split costs for a condo that I own? Okay. I own a condo that I pay $2,700 a month for. About $1,800 of that goes to the principal and interest, while the other $900 goes to HOA and taxes. The HOA fee includes shared facilities, internet, cable, water, etc. Oh, okay. My girlfriend of 2 years and I have been talking about moving in together, and I'm wondering what a fair way to split expenses would be that wouldn't cause tension. I don't want her paying my mortgage. Smart, as I would be benefiting directly from money she would never see back. She also makes about half as much as me in her job. Would it be reasonable for her to pay the HOA taxes and I pay for the principal, interest, and utilities? No. I figured that way she isn't paying my mortgage while also saving $600 a month of what she would be paying otherwise. I would be paying $200 while she pays $900. $2,000 while she pays $900. It seems fair to me, but maybe there's something I'm missing. To be clear, my question has more to do with the dynamics and power imbalances that this might introduce rather than the financial aspect itself. Although I know the two are intertwined. No, what you're going to do is you're going to be smart. You're going to follow Deborah's advice. you're going to get a landlord-tenant agreement going, and she's going to pay a certain amount of money for rent. That rent is going to include some of the stuff that you talked about that the HOA fees cover. If you want to charge her $900 a month, that's fine. You also, but you want to cover yourself and your house and make sure that if you get ready to get her the fuck up out of there, you can say, this is your eviction notice, get out. Okay? Be smart about this. Don't let love get you caught up in a situation where you all messed up in the end and she want to claim to your house because she's been paying the HOA fees. You're not going to do it like that, where it's the direct thing. She's going to buy groceries and she's going to, maybe, I don't know, buy some little decorations that she likes or something. I don't know. And then she's going to pay $900 a month in rent. That's what you're going to do. Well, yeah, I would think that would be the right thing too, because he would save money if she's buying the groceries. Well, that depends on if he's cooking, if they cook. A lot of these new couples, they just eat out all the time. They don't cook anything. So it would depend on that. But if I were you, I would propose that and then see what she says. Or you could charge her $500 a month and then $400 a month will go toward the groceries. So her total outlay would be $900 a month. So you figure that out, but you're not going to have her write no check to pay nothing that's connected with your house. Nothing. Okay. Your taxes. When she starts paying those HOA fees that include taxes, don't you know she's going to have a claim on your house? Sir, don't be stupid here. You not thinking clear here. You let her buy a couch or some shit that she could take with her when she goes. That's what you do with her. Don't you do this the way you talking? That would be hella stupid. Question number 5. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Seattle, Washington. Oh, wait, that's the one I already read. I forgot to change the page. Okay, question number 6. Oh, we only on number 6. I have 32 to go. I'm tired already. Female, 28 to 34 from Columbus, Ohio. Male, 35 to 42. Summary of issues. I got him something thoughtful for Christmas and he didn't get me anything. What do I say? Oh, you dating a Grinch. Been together over a year. He's very sweet, caring, and kind to me. We have never really gotten each other gifts for birthdays because we were somewhat new in our relationship at the time. But I mentioned several times a few weeks ago that I was getting something for Christmas. He sort of groaned and said, well, I don't know what to get you. Deb, I put a lot, and she put that in caps and bold, of thought into his gift. When I told him the other day that his gift had arrived, he just said, well, I didn't get you anything. I wasn't sure how to respond, but his statement was clear that he did not and was not planning on getting me anything. Okay, well then what's what you're supposed to do is take his gift back to the store and get your money back. You weren't supposed to give him shit. Okay, you messed up. Let's see what else happened in this sordid tale. I think I said something like, okay, well, I still have something for you. And he repeated again, I didn't get you anything. We planned on opening gifts Christmas morning at his place, like gifts that family and friends sent us. So I'm just confused as to what he thought would be occurring, especially since I said I was getting him something. I would have been happy with anything, even something small and cheap. I'm not really sure how to handle it or what to say because now it's going to be awkward when I give him his gift and get nothing in return. That's why I keep telling y'all, silly women, to match energy. He ain't putting in no money into giving you a gift for birthday or Christmas or nothing else. Why would you do that? You see what I'm going with this? You did too much and now your feelings are all hurt because you gave with the expectation of getting something in return. He already told you he didn't get you anything, that was your clue not to get him anything either, right? Because you're supposed to match energy. Yeah, a whole year. He hadn't gotten her nothing. Anna scolding me. She's like, stop it because you just got here. I don't care. I'm complaining anyway. But, I just don't understand it. It's like, why would you give a man a thoughtful gift or any other kind of gift? I'd get you behind some switches from the backyard and tie a ribbon on it like Santa. You know how they say Santa give you switches if you were his bad boy or girl? That's what he would have got. He might have got something like that, like a gag gift. But he wouldn't have got no serious, thoughtful gift. But a bundle of switches, that would have been cute. And take a picture of him holding his bundle of switches and then put it on social media. This is what I got my boyfriend because he was a bad boyfriend all year. He's getting some switches. Yeah, I take the gifts back. I told you all about the boyfriend I had in Houston when I was in college. And I came home for Thanksgiving. I went to, remember the Emporium? That's those of you who are Bay Area natives. And bought him a Willie Smith shirt. It was on clearance, but still, it was a Willie Smith shirt and some kind of cologne or something. I don't know. I had a cousin that works at Macy's, so I got her employee discount. So I mean, they were nice gifts, but I didn't pay, full retail for either one of them. And a pair of jeans that matched the shirt from Ross Dress for Less. So this whole thing probably cost me $40 altogether. So I gave it to him, and I forgot he said something snarky. I mean, it wasn't like he did give me something, but I didn't like his response to my gift. I mean, I just want to hear like, thank you. That's so thoughtful. Something like that. I don't want to hear any bullshit from you about what was better. I could have, why wasn't it this or that? And so I waited till he went to take a shower. I politely went in his over there and got my stuff and put it in my car, and I drove off. And then on Highway 59, near where it crosses Loop 610, I flung that cologne out on the freeway. And then he asked me about it later. He's talking about, well, what happened to, that cologne and them jeans and that shirt? I sent that stuff back to San Francisco, told my mother with the DC, told my mother to give me my money back. And she did. And so he didn't. I said, no, you don't appreciate nothing. So you don't get anything. And for the cologne, Highway 59 smelling real good right about now. And that's what I told him. So, everybody who went by there for a couple of days, like, oh, what is that smell? That smells so good. But I'm not giving you nothing. You don't think that is good enough for me? I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. So he was just too through with me. He was out there. He could not believe it, just flabbergasted. Called his mother and sister and told him and everything. The sister thought it was funny. The mother was horrified. The sister and me, she said, girl, that's what he deserved. I just wish he had met somebody like you earlier. He wouldn't be such a jerk. But yeah. Match energy, always match energy. Whatever he gives, you give an equal amount, not one iota more. He don't want to call you, you definitely don't call him. No deers in Houston. That's funny, the thought though. That deer getting clocked. But yeah. Don't be doing stuff for these dudes. They don't want to clean up the environment they live in. You don't clean up. Just leave his shit where he left it. Don't be doing all this stuff for these men. That makes them lazy and feel entitled and stuff. Question number 7. This is a male in the 35 to 42 age group. He's Black from London. The female is 28 to 34. Summary of issue. I'm losing my best friend to her toxic and abusive boyfriend. How do I get her out? We've been best friends for more than a decade and are both in committed relationship with other people. However, her boyfriend has been a thorn in my eye since the day we met. He's younger than her by 5 years and seemed hostile from the get-go. Oh, them jealous, insecure types. Over time, I noticed that he's very controlling and insecure. I honestly have no idea why she would want to be with him, as she is quite intelligent and normally a good judge of character. However, over time, he's only gotten more controlling and verbally abusive, that he gaslights her a lot. For example, I gave her a ride home one day because public transportation was on strike and she neglected to inform him. And he just flipped out, threatened to break up because she cheated on him with me. Our relationship is not romantic. I treat her like my little sister that I never had. He knows that, but is using any excuse to gaslight her and guilt trip her. Now, recently, he has been doubling down and she is allowing it to happen. We used to talk for hours on the phone, but now she's even afraid to call me because it might set him off. Okay, she's going down that abusive relationship rabbit hole. He tracks her location nonstop, and if she deviates even the slightest bit, he calls her immediately and berates and questions her. She need to get 2 phones. Get a little burner phone, and then leave that phone somewhere where he thinks that's where she is. When I told her this is not normal behavior, she just shrugs it off. We have been slowly falling out of contact, and my words seem to hit a brick wall. I sat down with her multiple times and told her to her face that she could, in fact, do and should do better. Her response is always the same, but I love him. Oh, team, how many times have we heard that as an excuse for people to say in stupid-ass relationships? I've also told her that she needs somewhere to stay or run to. She's always looking at mine and my SO's place. So she at least knows she has a safe haven. Her boyfriend does not know my home address. I'm afraid of losing her and seem to be losing my grip on her and our friendship. My heart breaks for her as I can see she is visibly unhappy. She even admitted that she feels like she's always walking on eggshells with him, but refuses to act against it or maybe is afraid to. I have no idea how to help her at this point. I'm out of moves. Any thoughts welcome? Well, Mom, you might probably not gonna like to hear this, but your friend is just went into the stupid zone. And so she's allowing all of this to happen. People say, well, abusive relationships, you kind of get sucked in. I'm like, if you love yourself as a woman and you have high self-esteem, none of this would happen. He started wanting to track you. You'd say, motherfucker, you done lost your mind. You ain't tracking shit. I'm grown. And, trying to play these games and threaten her and, gaslight and all that stuff. Even like later for you, I don't need to be bothered with this kind of stuff. So if she had that, I mean, you say that she's intelligent and normally a good judge of character, but obviously her confidence level and her self-esteem is not what you think it is, because this clown would have never gotten not even a foothold in her life, not to mention the stranglehold that he has now. So what you're going to have to do for your own sanity is just back off from her. That's what the guy's angling for anyway. And she's already kind of fallen into it by reducing her contact. I mean, if she calls you, you'd be happy to hear from her and talk to her and stuff like that. But otherwise, you got to remove yourself from this situation. You consider that you had more than a decade of friendship with this young lady, and she may come back around. But, the next time you see her might be at her funeral because dudes sound whack. So just brace yourself. Until she decides that she's had enough and she's sick and tired of him, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do. Nothing. Nothing. You've done, you out of moves, like you said, you've done everything that a good friend would do to show support and, provide her with options. And she has not, she opted not to avail herself of any of them. So there's nothing else for you to do. So just concentrate on your relationship and let her do her thing. I don't know what to say. Question number 8. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group. He's African American from Los Angeles, California. Female is 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My fiance's parents are on D's and taking advantage of our kindness. What can I do? You can say no. You know how to say no? I'll do my best to keep this brief. Thank you, Jesus. But there's a lot that goes into this, so sorry if I ramble. My fiance, we call her, well, we'll just not call her anything. And I have been together for about 5 years and have lived together for almost the whole time. I knew from the moment I met her that she was the one for me. Oh, interesting. You young too. Early on into dating, I quickly realized that she and I had very different upbringings, as I was raised in an upper middle class traditional white picket fence nuclear family. And her parents were never married and had her and her brother young, and they struggled all through childhood. This led to her growing up super quick and becoming incredibly mature and doing everything she could to support them, from moving out at 18 and letting them stay with her in her one-bedroom apartment to constantly covering both gas and food bills for them as they can't keep consistent work. Her older brother is 28 and has pretty much signed off on taking any responsibility for them and does his best to make his own way. I think he's pretty smart to cut them off, really. Now, here's where my question comes in. Thank you. Lately, me and her have taken in their dog, which is totally fine because he's a really chill pup. But along with him, her dad has started staying with us in our one-bedroom apartment. Well, why did you let him stay? Without going into too much detail, her mom had a bad night and we found out that she was doing D's. I'm not sure which D, but apparently the same ones they were doing when she was a kid, but I don't pry. We have done everything we can to help, and my girlfriend severely struggles to say no to either of them, but is now thinking of going no contact. Is this the best choice? Absolutely. What can I do to support her no matter her decision? I'm going back home for a weekend and she will be alone because she can't get time off. With all of this going on, and I just want to do the best I can by her. Any advice is greatly appreciated, as I'm totally out of my depth here. Well, you're going to have to step in, Homeskill, if that's your fiance, right? To means you intend to marry this girl. So those will become your in-laws. If you don't start setting some boundaries and ground rules and stuff for what's going on now, by the time you two married, they're going to be knee deep in your wallet and it'll be community property. So if they want some money, she's just going to write a check from your joint account. You need to stop this and stop it now. Okay? I don't want you to be this weak and indecisive. I want you to tell her, you don't ask her anything, because them being in the house impacts you as well. Tell that raggedy daddy to take his raggedy mutt, flea-bitten mutt, and hit the door and not to come back unless he's gotten the invitation. He just show up, don't let him in. I mean, it's very simple. Just tell him to go away and go. He ain't coming in. And then when you have that conversation with him, you tell him, like I said, that you only gonna come here when we invite you. Other than that, you don't show up at this apartment thinking you're gonna get in nothing. You're not gonna stay here either. And neither is your dog. Take your dog with you. I'm just like, this is just ridiculous. Yeah. My daughter's here with me now, and I'm just dying on the vine. I can't take it. I told her yesterday, I'm like, when are you going to get a job and get out? And I said it just bluntly like that. She was not happy. Well, I'm like, I don't care. I told you this was a stopgap measure. That's like, you ain't living with me. It's not going to happen. So you need to start getting yourself together, saving your money so you can move out. So we'll see. She was not looking, but still hasn't talked to me. But I'm like, whatever. Most best, quietest days of my life. But yeah, I don't know. This poor thing, dude. But yeah, you're going to have to step up and man up and take charge of your household, because your girlfriend obviously doesn't have the strength to. You're going to be her husband. It's time for you to start stepping into that role, protecting her, sometimes even from herself right now. Okay. And going no contact is ideal. Question number 9. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Memphis. Summary of issue. Please advise me. Okay. How is that the summary? I'm 28 and my girlfriend is 35, and we have been dating for 5 months. She is absolutely wonderful to me in every way, and I really can't be more blessed than that. She's beautiful, caring, and completely matches my personality, and I can see myself marrying her if the relationship continues. We do not live together, but I generally spend Friday to Monday morning with her every week, so we have had a lot of time to get comfortable with one another. Because of this, I've helped her financially in small ways, like paying for groceries sometimes and paying a utility bill for her. Well, that's fair since you're there half the damn week. Within the next couple of months, I need to make a decision regarding renewing my apartment lease. At around the 2-month mark in relationship, my girlfriend mentioned that she could see herself living with me and asked how I would feel about moving in with her. I told her at the time that sounds nice, but I simply was not ready for that. As we spent time together, the idea of moving in has become more realistic, especially since my lease is ending. She asked me again around the 4-month mark, to which I told her I want to take the relationship slowly, because I really do want this one to work out. I've made the mistake of moving in too quickly before. She seemed to respect that, but I'll be blatantly honest with you. A big part of why I'm holding off on moving in with her is because she has no money management skills. I see where this is going. She has taken out personal loans. This is roughly $40,000 in collections in total. Oh, I would hyperventilate. I tell you, I mean, my car loan is probably about that much. Well, it's not now, but when I first got it. And I was just horrified because I was like, how can it cost this much? This is ridiculous. So, but hers is in collection though. That's not good. She was raised by parents who had decent professional careers, but lived paycheck to paycheck their whole lives and are near retirement age with minimal savings. She never had anyone to teach her about money, but she can't use Google University. In my era, that was an excuse. In this era, there's YouTube and all these other places that you can go, websites to teach you all this stuff. There's no excuse for anybody not to have any skills with money management. That means you are intentionally trying to be ignorant. You're looking up stupid stuff. No, she got an apartment. Yes, you're right, Ash. And we only, 6 or 7 letters in. Oh, God, this dude wrote a fortune. Okay, 40,000. She's a preschool teacher, a swimming teacher, and donates plasma for her income. Between the 2 jobs, she works 60 hours a week. She doesn't make great money, but that's not really a problem. The problem is that she has this huge unpaid debt and doesn't understand the concept of living beneath her means. I have passively suggested that she should cut out some of her extra expenses that are not needs, such as Netflix, Peacock, YouTube Music, and vaping. I did this by asking she put a hold on the extra purchases, but the response was that they come out on a certain day each month. Either she knew what I was suggesting and blew it off, or she generally didn't understand what I was saying. She is broke at the end of each month and is only paying $100 a month on a collection that she's already gone to court for. Today, her parents asked why we hadn't moved in together. They were married within 6 months of dating, so they probably have a little bias. They have been incredibly kind and accepting of me. I don't know if they know exactly how bad my girlfriend's financial situation is. They seem to want me to move in with her when my lease is up, and it could be for the right reasons, but I'm concerned that there's an ulterior motive that would involve me fully financially supporting her. As much as I would love to be able to, I'm still paying off my student loans and car loan, as well as supporting my child from a previous relationship, all while paying my rent, bills, and attempting to build a good savings. Life is a struggle already, and fully supporting her is not an option. In theory, this could work out well for both of us if she starts managing her finances and life would be more affordable. My problem is that I'm worried I'll end up stuck in a lease and will end up losing everything in the process if she ends up spending every dollar that she makes without splitting financial responsibility. I'm also concerned that my girlfriend's parents' solution to her money problems is for me to move in and move in a man and fully support her. I do not want this relationship to be ruined over money issues like so many are. I want to move in, and while she's never done any wrong to me, I have unfortunately been feeling that this would not be a great idea. I've had people I've loved like family for over 10 years who have suddenly used me for money and then taken off completely until they came back to ask for more. I believe this is causing doubts as well. What do you think, Deb? Are my past experiences affecting how I move forward in this relationship, positively or negatively? I will happily accept any advice or wisdom that you have to offer on any of what I have written. No, this is a nice little guy. You can tell he's nice. Yeah, he's more mature and responsible. And he got, he's a daddy. He got a kid to support. So I'm going to tell you this. I do not recommend moving in with her. Renew your lease, or if you want to move to a place that's less expensive, if you can find one. I mean, yeah, I'm assuming you need some space because you probably have visitation with your kid, and so you need a little bit more space than maybe a studio apartment would afford you. But if you have the option to look around and find something that's less expensive, try that. If not, just renew the lease where you are for one more year. During that year, what you're going to tell her what you're dating is, I need to see you save, give her 3 months. I need to see you save $1,000. And if you see every 3 months, you should save $1,000. If I can see you save $1,000, by the time my lease is up next year, you should have, let's see, what is that, 4,000? She should have $4,000. If you can do that, then I'll consider moving in with you. If you can't do that, then we will not move in together. And that's what you tell her. So you put the responsibility for her to show up like a grown woman and a responsible person to, if she wants you to move in there. I wouldn't move in there. Dude, and one thing you definitely don't want to do is marry her. Because then if she's all that irresponsible with money, she's going to be knee deep in your wallet, and you're going to be supporting her and any kids you have with her, plus the kids you already got and everything in the house. You're going to be just worn out. This is a red flag. This is like what they say, like a Russian parade, red flag, so many red flags. I would not even be dealing with her personally, but if you like her, as long as she stay out your wallet, I guess it's okay because it's not your money, it's not your problem. But as soon as she starts asking you for something, you better deuce the fuck out. Question number 10. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Vallejo, California. Females 22 to 27. Summary of issue. How do I handle my girlfriend's jealousy? We are together since 2 years, and I don't know how to handle her jealousy. It's not like she's stalking me or constantly asking where I am and what I do. But whenever she sees me have a conversation with an actual woman, I can guarantee that she will at least make a thing out of this. For me, the issue is that this started already so early in the relationship. 2 years. Okay, so early in the relationship, and you stayed with her? See, I don't do jealousy. Can't do it. Don't want it. I don't have time. So let's see. Early in the relationship, we've been dancing with the best friend of her, which is gay. They slept in his bed sometimes when they went partying. The gay best friend suddenly had a girlfriend, though, so not so gay anymore. But the way I got to know him and based on his behavior, I really had no issues with them sharing the bed. Anyhow, we went dancing with him and his new girlfriend. My girlfriend and him went to go get drinks for us. During this time, the two of us kept dancing. Our bodies were not touching, but of course, I looked at her. My girlfriend's mood switched from +10 to -10 when she came back with her allegedly gay friend. She started crying and we went home. On the way home, she accused me of the way I looked at her. Since this was relative at the start of the relationship, I felt empathy and tried to make her understand clearly that there was nothing between us and that we were just dancing while she was gone to get the drinks. I told her that I would never cheat. My father cheated on my mother, and I saw what this does to a person. I told her that I had nook with only 2 people so far in my life, my ex of 7 years and her. I don't cheat, nor am I a person who can even have nook with an individual without an emotional bond, that she can trust me 100%. She was kind of fine, but the problem came up the next month, when something else happened. It was a birthday party of one of my best friend's partner, and I was invited as well. My ex was also there. I've asked my girlfriend if she wanted to come. She denied it because she said she could not handle seeing my ex. I could understand that. However, after the party, I was asked if I talked to my ex. I denied it, which was true. She said she was feeling so bad during the time I was at the party, and that in her head, a lot of scenes were going on. Okay. I'm going to skip some of this because you just went into too much detail. Okay. I want to be empathetic and validate her feelings in general, but my issue of invalidating her feelings on this topic sometimes lead to other situations where I invalidate her feelings as well or don't take them seriously. What can I do to make sure that I validate her feelings? How can I take her seriously in all situations when internally I feel so mistrusted by her? I feel like I am the loyalist person, but she is not trusting me, which hurts so much. I try to get away from the pain by not taking her seriously anymore. This can't be healthy. No, you should have left this relationship. What's wrong with you? Staying there for 2 years with that, dealing with some bullshit like that. Have you lost your mind? When somebody acts stupid like that, you're supposed to say, look here, I'm not tolerating this. We're not going to go down this road. You're going to try to do this shit here. We're going to break up. I'm putting you on notice now, so you better watch yourself. And that's what I would have told her. She would have had one to clown and act a fool and crying and acting stupid at the party, embarrassing you. See, I just some things I don't do. One, you're putting your hands on me. And number 2, you're not embarrassing me. You're not going to get out in public and start acting a zip damn fool and think I'm going to stay with you. I will get my shit and walk off and leave you there. And if we went in my car, you better figure out how you got yourself home. If we came in your car, I'm going to take an Uber. Either way, I'm not staying there. We're not doing that. I have just such strong boundaries about stuff I'm not going to tolerate. And this stuff that you're dealing with, that's on my list of no-nos. So, sir, I really notice how these young guys are just they're either jerks, abusive jerks, or they're kind of wimpy. It's nobody in the middle. What's going on with you young cats? This is not good. I want to see these guys, check these girls. You don't have to be disrespectful like I would be, because I would just go smooth off. But, you have to be like me, but you definitely have to tell her that we ain't doing that. I don't know what we're going to do, but it's not going to be that. So you get yourself together or this relationship is over. You need to see a shrink or something, make it happen. Because you do this shit again here, this is it, it's over. And you start telling them that kind of stuff. And you don't tolerate this kind of nonsense from women. And women don't tolerate from men either. So I don't really understand, why you guys, how could you stay in a relationship for 2 years like this? This is a 2-week thing for me. Because by the time she did that shit the second time, I was like, oh no, I can't do this. Question number 11. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group of European descent. She's Pisces. And the male is 28 to 34 as well. And he's Caucasian as well. And he is a Virgo. So she says, my boyfriend gets really upset over small things. I feel like my boyfriend is always getting upset with me about small things. For example, just yesterday, he got mad with me because I promised him I would order a kitchen appliance for our new apartment. We have an older version of this particular appliance, but he wants a new one. And I was particular about the kind we should get, so we both agreed that I should be the one to order it. It's been about a month, and I still have not ordered it. I've just been busy and dealing with other things, and it honestly slipped my mind, even though he reminded me. What can I say? I'm a Pisces. Weak excuse. You're a grown-ass woman. 28 to 34? Yesterday, we got into a big argument about it, and I told him it should not be such a big deal. After all, we have an older version of this appliance, so there shouldn't be a rush, but it's perfectly usable. He just wouldn't let it go and was so mad about it. To me, it worries me because I feel like we're just so fundamentally different. Yeah, because you just bullshit. You tell people you're going to do something, then you don't do it. And then when they get mad because you don't do it, you want to play victim and act like, well, what's the problem? You should be fine with the fact that I didn't do it. That's essentially what you're saying here. I really don't need the rest of this. But you trying to understand why you feeling hurt and stressed because I feel nothing I do is good enough, and we're always having these little blowups over nothing. See, no, this is not over nothing. This is of you being a person of your word. This is the very foundation of a relationship, respect, and someone being able to depend on you. And in this case, he can't do either one because you just doing what you want to do and coming up with weak excuses. It takes you 5 minutes to log onto Amazon in order to press the little thing. Most people already have their credit card information saved in there, and you just press what address you want to send to, and it's done. So you coming up with these vague and bullshit ass excuses, you're going to end up losing this relationship. That's what's going to happen to you. Because, if somebody can't depend on you for little stuff like this, you don't seem to understand the ramifications for this behavior pattern that you have as an adult. Your people, your partners, your coworkers, your bosses, all the people around you that depend on you to do what you say you're going to do will be left hanging and suffering because you don't think with the promises that you made that it's important to keep them. And I'm telling you that it is. You may see this as something very small, but it's a thing about your character. And that's why I said at the beginning that you're just full of bullshit. You're just a bullshit old bitch, and you need to get your shit together. Okay, this is not how you treat people. If you tell them that you're going to do something for them, you've already talked about it, you chose them out, and you're supposed to do it. You don't just sit there and just rolling around and trying to play the victim when they go off on you because you didn't do what you promised them you were going to do. Okay, so I don't know what you thought you was going to hear from me, but that's my best answer I can give you without totally cussing you out. I can't stand people that do this kind of shit. Telling you they're going to do something or be somewhere and do, whatever. And then they don't do it and just kind of blow you off like it's funny. I told you how I did dude who came with supposed to bring the wine to my house for the jambalaya that day. I'm not doing that. His ass left hungry. He didn't bring my wine. So he left hungry and he didn't get no jambalaya. I'm not going to reward you for treating me like that. You come through with what you told me you was going to do, or all bets are off. So you talking about it shouldn't be a big fight and that frustrations in life will happen. This is not a frustration. He's disappointed. He's disappointed in you, and you don't even seem to understand that 28 to 34, you're dumb that you don't get this. Question number 12. This is the female in the 22 to 27 age group from London. Right, you guys? I mean, am I the only one that thinks like that? If somebody tells you they're going to have your back, they're going to do something, a favor or whatever, and then they don't do it. I mean, how did you guys feel about that? Just make your comment in the chat because I'm anxious to see what other people think about that. To me, that's all bets are off after that. I can't depend on you. You definitely not going to get my love because that means you can't even hold up your end of the stick for the little stuff. I'm not trusting my heart to you, my money, my body, my safety. No, you don't get it. Okay, question 12. She's 22 to 27 out of London. Summary of issue. Would this be a deal breaker for you? I met him 16 months ago online. Okay, here we go. Yep. Okay. I just want to see. I mean, because sometimes I seem to be the only one that thinks certain things, and y'all be like, no, you crazy. What's wrong with you? Why you think like that? So I just wanted to ask. Okay, 16 months ago online. At the time, he lived more or less an hour away on the tube on a good day and was not straightforward. At least one line change necessary if public transport was working well. We got into the habit of me visiting him as I didn't want him visiting me because of my teen daughter. That's right. We had dates outside of his house too, but the main point is it was always me traveling to him, and I was okay with that. He would walk me back to the nearest station about 10 or 15 minutes from his house, but this was something that I had to ask the first time when I went to visit. He didn't offer, and I had to keep asking until it became a habit. I was then traveling back late at night for 1+ hour to get home on my own at least once a week. I don't drive. He does, but doesn't have a car because we're in London. So public transportation is not an issue. And I would expect me to travel just to take me home. I never slept over. But he moved into my neighborhood about 15 minutes walking distance from my house. This was purely by chance, as he'd been looking for houses all over the place. The first time I went to visit, when it was time for me to go home, I asked if he could walk me home. It was maybe 11 p.m. I saw he was hesitant, so I said that I would then see he would then see where I live and see how close it is. He then agreed. Then the next time I asked him to walk me home, he said I was a big girl. Okay. And you still fucking with him? So we got into the habit of me visiting him again, but then I got up to leave and get there on my own to get home late at night while he stays nice and comfy in his house. So basically, you delivering booty to this man, and then he don't even give a shit about you getting home safely. He's staying in his bed with his remote in his hand while you wandering the streets of London by yourself. That's what you're telling me. And you think that's okay. He knows I appreciate when he does something to minimize my risks of safety risks, but it seems like he is choosing not to care. I'm getting so resentful. Am I asking for too much, or should I just behave like a big girl? The relationship is good, otherwise I wouldn't give a fuck. It's not good enough. Yeah. And she always running around at night by herself. And so, people notice your comings and goings. And so some dude's gonna follow you, right? Because they're gonna see you by yourself, and you got 15 minutes before you get to safety, and you just walking free at 11 o'clock at night in London by yourself, and you think that's a good idea, and you don't understand why this man that's putting you at risk like that doesn't really give a shit about you, and all you are to him is booty that comes over and delivers itself to him. He don't have to do nothing. He don't have to take you out. He don't have to do nothing. You just come over there and deliver yourself like. So what's wrong with you? Please do not model this behavior for your teenage daughter. You are going to fuck your daughter all the way up. Or she's going to feel like she has no value at all, other than some butt to some dude. Ooh, Lord have mercy. There's so much wrong with this situation here. It's really kind of scary. Girl, get it together, lady. Okay, cut this off. Cut this off. Find somebody that respects you more. I like the fact that you're aware and you're keeping men away from your daughter. I love that part. Trust me. But this, you're putting your own self at risk, though, while you're protecting her. What's she going to do if something happens to you? She's only 16 years old. She don't have no mama. What's going to happen to your kid? Can you please think about her if you can't get it together? Think about yourself. Think about your daughter having to grow up without her mother, or you being like so beat up and messed up that you like a vegetable in a coma or something. Please, lady, please get it together. Don't do this anymore. Question number 13. This is a female 35 to 41 age group of European descent. She's an Aries with no location provided. Again, that's right. The male's 35 to 41 as well. Summary of issue. Have my standards for men become impossible to meet? Yes, I don't know. She in a booty call. She calling it a relationship. That she go over to his house and travel on a train. Well, used to travel on a train and a bus to get to him to deliver up some booty and then go home. I wish I would be that desperate. So this person writes, I'm in my late 30s and dating for many years now. I'm starting to think my standards are so high that nobody who is single and interested in me can meet them. My attractiveness is pretty average, so I wonder if I may need to start giving more people a chance. Tell me what you think. These are some reasons I didn't want to meet the guy for a second time after the first date. Number one, I didn't like his smell, particularly his breath. Smells are important. Women are attracted by smells. Number two, I didn't like his teeth. They were crooked or yellow. Yep, that put me in that category. He didn't pay for my drink. And we had a similar letter to that a couple of weeks ago. He didn't talk much, and I had to drive the conversation. Yeah, that's too much work. It's like, he's obviously not interested in you. He just trying to figure out an angle to get some tail. Number four, he was talking a lot, but didn't ask any questions about me. It was as if I was interviewing him. Oh, that kind of just gives you like a dialogue. I hate them too. Number five, I didn't feel any attraction. In the past, attraction grew in over time, so maybe I should be less strict here. Are these legit reasons for rejecting a man? Well, they sound legit to me. What y'all think? I don't like how he smells. I don't want to be around you. I don't like jacked up teeth. That's one of the things that I had a problem with it. Seems like a lot of dudes in the UK have fucked up teeth. I ain't about that life. I don't want to look at that. Teeth all, nope. He didn't pay for your drink. Yeah, that's no reason. I mean, I wouldn't see him again either. He didn't talk much and you had to drive the conversation. Too much work, not doing that. That means he's not interested in you. He was talking a lot, but didn't ask you anything about yourself. Same thing. He's really not interested in you. Number five, I didn't feel any attraction. That means you wasn't interested in him. And so you should not go out with them. I mean, there should be at least some basic attraction enough to make you want to see the person the second time. If you didn't even have that and you think it's going to grow out of thin air, that's not going to happen. Yeah, yuck mouth. It's, this is, I don't think that you should lower your standards if these are your criteria. I think you just have to wait to meet men, that meet them. And I'm going to tell you from everything I hear, I mean, I know everybody's using this online dating. I know everybody's using online dating, but I have yet to see anybody right in here to talk about how they met this guy, that he was decent and good and, sane and all of those things. I haven't seen that yet. And we're talking about since people have been doing online dating since the 90s. I was doing this column. It used to be in written form, but still getting letters about online dating since then. And there's just nothing. I just haven't seen it. And so I don't really know. I can't say what else there is to do to meet people, but online dating don't seem to be the lick. Yeah, that's what a lot of people write here because they don't trust themselves. They need validation, that what they're thinking or feeling is valid. So they ask. I mean, I would rather have them ask before they just do some dumb shit and get themselves in a problem. But yeah, it's kind of problematic when you have, dealing with adult women in their 30s. She says late 30s, and doubting herself. That's something that usually the younger ones, the 18 to 21s or the 22 to 27 groups, those two groups would do because they're still trying to figure out who they are and what's going on in the world. But, you on the downstroke to 40 and you still haven't figured it out. That's kind of a problem. Question number 14. This is a female, 22 to 27 age group. She's Latinx. I just put X because it's like any country in South America. She's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Summary of issue. This guy who ghosted has messaged me. Hi, Deb. I was chatting to a guy via text a few months ago. We live in different cities a few hours apart. It was sporadic texting and not really likely to lead to anything. When I was passing through his city, though, I suggested meeting up for a few hours. He said yes, and to keep him posted. However, on the day I was there, he was quite late with replies. And when I told him the times I'd be there was no response. I just left it at that and wanted to play it cool. Now, out of the blue, he's messaged to say hi. I don't feel like engaging, really, but part of me is like, what if I'm passing up something? Nothing has really happened for me with a relationship for a long time. I like my own company, but I would still like to find someone. Should I give him a chance to explain what happened? Then again, maybe I'm just fifth choice or whatever and just being used. Thanks for your input. Used for what? What are you being used for? All you did was text with the fool. You are just doing the most. You don't have a relationship with him. He ain't using you. It's just, what most likely what happened is his wife or living girlfriend had him otherwise obligated, and so he couldn't sneak away to meet up with you. That's the way this usually goes when they drop off like that. But the bottom line for you is, like I said, match energy. So he wasn't, he didn't want to see you, otherwise he would have made it happen. So what you should do, when you got home after that trip, you were supposed to block him, so he couldn't be interfering in your life anymore. But you didn't do that because you want to keep the door open so for him to have more tomfoolery. So what I'm going to suggest is you go and you delete his messages and block his numbers and go on with your life. Not interested in you. Question number 15. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group. He's African-American from Charlotte, North Carolina. Females also 28 to 34. Summary of issue. Should I try to fight for this potential relationship? Okay. Fight for a potential relationship. Did y'all catch that? Well, I hope these people come and read the chats because y'all are funny. Okay, so this young guy's in the 20 to 34 age group. Oh, okay, I already read that part. Fighting for this potential relationship. I have been speaking to this woman for a month now, and everything has seemed great. 3,000 messages in a month. What? Okay, you need a second job or something. With great, fantastic conversations. We connected mentally, physically, and emotionally. Everything has been great up until her ex-addict baby daddy said something to her a week ago, which I'm not sure what it was. Ex-addict baby daddy. Okay. She has since told me that she needs space and has apologized for hurting my feelings and never her intention, and says she just wants to focus on herself and her family, which I do respect and understand. Right now, we have been in no contact, but I can't help to think that she's just using fear as a way to push me away due to how her last relationships ended. I really like her and I want to use every bit of effort I have in me to make us work if possible. I'm willing to give more details if Candace asks, but honestly, I would love some advice on what to do here. You're not going to do nothing. You're going to leave her alone. Let me tell you why. What's in your future if you insist on this? That ex-addict baby daddy came to her and said, "Who are you fucking now? Don't you be trying, and having these souls over my kid, blah, blah, blah. I will beat your ass. I will kill both of you." They'll say things like that to threaten the women. So in order to save you from that potential drama, she told you that she's going to concentrate on herself and her family right now, right? So she's removing you from the situation. But you want to insist on putting yourself back into the situation. You're an idiot, sir. When somebody is an addict and crazy, you don't mess around with that woman until she's safely away from that man. If somebody didn't know where New Mexico was, yeah. She's trying to save your life, potentially your life, or at least keep you out of a wheelchair. Leave her alone. Find somebody else. Okay. She's trying to get you to safety and you just insist on going back into the lion's den. Question number 16. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Plano, Texas. Third issue. My boyfriend did not stop using the swipey app after we became exclusive. I met my boyfriend on a dating app when we were both in college. We dated for a few months and I brought up a relationship. He said he was not ready to be boyfriend and girlfriend, but we could be exclusive with each other and not see other people. I just found out last week that he continued using dating apps and talking to girls well after we became exclusive, after someone sent me screenshots with dates. I straight up asked multiple times if he was ever on dating apps after we became exclusive, and he kept insisting that he never was. I am very hurt by this, as the understanding was that we would both be deleting our apps and only focusing on each other. We have been in an official relationship for several years now, and nothing else has come up that's made me suspicious, but I still feel stupid that I took this seriously and he didn't. Okay, you talking about some shit happened years ago and you just now finding out and you trying to have a reaction about some ancient history. Ooh, I am also very hurt that he lied to me and tried to brush it off like I was just trying to dig up old shit to start a fight. I'm not sure what to do at this point. I feel like he betrayed my trust, but at the same time, we were not in an official relationship, so I just don't know if I feel like he cheated on me. Should I just let it go? He didn't cheat on you. Let me tell you something. Even at the point where you are right now, where y'all still dating and it's been years, he's still single and so are you. Now, I know my opinion is not the popular one, but unless you're married, you're single. So all this stuff, these expectations of fidelity and all this old stuff here, I mean, to me, that's kind of misplaced. You're not even engaged. Engaged, at least, you're making a step towards marriage. You're still single, but you've made a statement there that's pretty serious. But, notice how, I want you to go back to the beginning of your letter. I want to point something out to you. You said, we dated for a few months and I brought up a relationship. He said he was not ready to be boyfriend and girlfriend, but we could be exclusive with each other and not see other people after that. Now, did you stop to ask him what see other people meant? Because what he meant could have meant exclusive is just not sleeping with anybody. But that didn't mean he was not going to be going out with other people. See, there's a difference. If you didn't get clarity to know what he meant by we could be exclusive with each other, then that could be just your misinterpretation. Like you had a certain expectation, but it wasn't clearly communicated to him. That's one thing. The second part was that, you brought up a relationship versus him. And he told you that he wasn't ready. But you want to, still be around him with all these expectations of being in a committed relationship, even though he told you he wasn't ready. So you made a couple of really big mistakes here. And that's all on you. Exclusive means that you just don't, it could mean that you just don't sleep with other people, but some people do that when they have a friends with benefits situation. They only sleeping with each other until they meet somebody that they like and want to sleep with, and then the friend with benefits situation comes to an end. It's exactly the same thing. It does make perfect sense. If if that's the kind of lifestyle that you live, That's what happens in those situations. So, you're exclusively sleeping with that other person, but you might be going out with talking to, going out to dinner with whatever, multiple people, but you're only sleeping with that one. That's why I said, if you don't get clear on what other people mean when they use certain terminology, that's why you always ask questions. You don't ever assume that you know what a man meant. You say, explain to me what exclusive looks like in your, what does that look like? And that's a simple question. Then he can explain it to you. And you can see if y'all was on the same page or not. But in this case, it doesn't sound like they are. At least they weren't at that point. Question number 17. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Long Beach, California. The male is 28 to 34. Summary of issue. My boyfriend doesn't bother making an effort for me ever. So then why are you with him? Some advice, please. Me and my boyfriend have been together for nearly 2 years. We're both 29. We have a kid together and we live together. He's never brought me a birthday present or a Valentine's present or Christmas gifts. The last time he brought me anything was when we first got together, but since then, nothing. It's not even like he don't know or anything, as I mentioned it. He said he just don't know. Then on Christmas, he said he has no idea what I like. To be honest, all I ever expected was maybe just a card or some chocolate, but that's it. But he didn't even do that. He don't even send me texts expressing his feeling for me or anything. I just don't know what to do anymore. Christmas is coming up, or I wasn't here for the column to do it, so everything's behind. I made an effort for him on every occasion, even if it's just been a card and something small. I've never left him with nothing. He doesn't even explain or say sorry or anything. How can I actually ask for effort? You don't. You just leave him. You dump him. I mean, what are you getting out of this situation? It sounds like you're so emotionally hungered, just like emotionally starving for some kind of like romance and acknowledgement and stuff from this guy that you have a kid by and you live together, but he doesn't value you in any kind of way. He doesn't see you as important like that. And he's wondering why you put up with such trash treatment. Why would you be with a man that didn't get you any kind of birthday present, no Valentine's present, no Christmas gifts? Why would you stay with a man like that? See, I want a man who comes in the door and gives me a gift because it's Tuesday. You don't have to wait for a special occasion, but I want one then too. Yes, it is. And I say that, Yemi Brown, I say that, I've been saying that for 30 years. But it's like it just don't sink in with women. They have all these expectations of husbandly, kind of behavior when they just a girlfriend or a baby mama or some live-in something. But, he's not your husband. And a lot of them get the shut up ring and they be engaged for like 92 years and then say, well, when he hasn't married me. Well, you don't want to. When you going to understand that? So I don't know what to say about this. Oh, it's just right. Oh, she said, he doesn't ever explain or say, sorry, anything. How can I actually ask for it? Yeah, you don't ask for effort. You just leave him alone. That's what it sounds like he wants you to do. Have some pride about yourself. You're not doing that. Question number 18. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from St. Paul, Minnesota. The male in question is 42 to 49. Summary of issue. I am feeling extreme shame after oversharing with a man. Is it normal to feel this way after spilling your guts out to someone? This guy I've been talking to on and off for like 5-ish years. I like him. I like spending time with him. I like unserious and playful relationships where I don't reveal too much about myself. It sounds crazy, but whatever. We're laying in bed together. He had told me about his family and his ex's kids and how they're grown up already. He had asked me in the past if I had kids. I said no. I lied to him. So I finally opened up about how I had given up a child when I was a teenager and how the father of that baby was way older than I was and how I kept my mouth shut because I didn't want to ruin his life. Okay, so you got groomed and yeah. I never thought about how fucked up the whole situation was and how my life was at the time. So now it's made me into the person I am, despite it not being my worst memory. Besides this letter to you, only a handful of people know, and it's only because they're medical people like doctors, surgeons, or an ex-boyfriend. After opening up to him about it, I can't stop thinking about how stupid it was that I told him that. I felt like throwing up ever since I told him. Even now, it's been like 3 days and I can't shake the regret of oversharing. I wish I would have just kept my fucking mouth shut. His reaction wasn't bad. The last dude I told flipped out on me. After telling him, he told me that he already knew because my stomach had that look before my tummy tucked, and how he had asked me if I had kids before, and I lied in his face. Honestly, it's my biggest fault that I keep everything a secret. It's taken me years to finally talk about it without showing any emotion. I keep thinking about it now. Like, why did I tell him? I've never voluntarily told anybody about something like that. I told him, and since I was a child, I would laugh at extremely inappropriate times. I'm in my late 20s now and still do this. We spent the most time together since I met him. Is this normal when you overshare something you never really think about or talk about because it's such an icky thing that you don't want, that you don't even know how to talk about it? How do I move on from this? How do I tell him I regret that moment? Or how do I move on from this without dying of embarrassment? I'm going to tell you this. You're a grown-ass woman. Okay, this is a reality that happened in your life. Not would I have told him? No, because I would feel like it's none of his business. But, you know, he just somebody that you dealing with and like or whatever. But you under no obligation to tell him about your past history. I would have never said a word to him. So he would have asked that, pointed question, well, have you ever had any kids? That means he already knew the answer to that question. So what you just say, well, what do you think? Or you could say my famous question, why would you need to know that? Do you see any kids here? So, you shut that down. Yeah, he can be curious and he can ask, but you don't have to answer, and especially don't have to answer truthfully. So what you did when you told him to know that you don't have any kids, you don't have any kids. You had a baby, but you don't have any children because they're not with you. You don't know where that kid is. Gave it up for adoption or whatever. So, I mean, it's not like you really lied. You just didn't tell him, the whole story, which really, like I said, was none of his business. So what are you going to do now? What you're going to do is suck it up because it is your reality and you're going to own it. That's what you do. That's what grown women do. They own their reality. You're not going to run from it. You're not going to hide from it. Okay? You don't need to run around telling everybody, though. But there's no reason for you now that you decided to tell him for whatever reason you had that, like you're ashamed and you're going to tell him you shouldn't have told him. You're not going to say all of that because it's going to make you look stupid. It's going to make you look weak. And it's going to make you look like a dummy. So you're not going to do that. You're just going to roll with it and just keep it moving. Okay? If he asks you any questions about it, say, I don't really want to talk about it anymore. I told you all that I choose to say on this topic. And you shut that shit down. That's all you have to do. People ask you all kinds of stuff. You're under no obligation to answer, like I said. Question number 19. This is a female in the 35 to 41 age group. She's African-American from Virginia. The male in question is over 65. Summary of issue, grappling with my father's cancer. Hi, Deb. Thank you so much for your time in advance. So about 2.5 years ago, literally a week before my 33rd birthday, my father was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. Oh, boy. He was a long-time smoker since the age of 17, but was always healthy and strong as a bull with absolutely no health issues or hospital visits his entire life. Before this, he was 71 when he was diagnosed, and while he is at elderly age, the realization that at some point will separate me from my parents hit me like a ton of bricks. There's a difference between knowing this fact of life and then being faced with a real threat that can make this so concrete. He has been doing well in his therapy and has been so strong, humorous, and positive despite struggles with appetite and losing a lot of weight. And just this November, we celebrated his 73rd birthday together. He has survived past his prognosis, and I am beyond grateful. However, I'm concerned that because my mom just told me the news that his mass had grown again. While I'm hopeful and staying positive, I am also trying to find some way to prepare myself mentally for the road ahead. I spent the last 2 years spending as much time as I can talking to, taking pictures with, and connecting with him, also trying to heal all the lost time with my father and my mother too, from how our broken family has been, from his absence to when he left us to go back to our country in Africa and live his life as if we were nothing to him. To me, reminiscing about my childhood, from teaching me to ride a bike, to drive, to helping me move into my dorm when I started at an HBCU, which I shall not name. She put the name in, but I'm not going to do it. I feel like life is just passing by so fast, and I don't fully know how to get a grip over it. I have no husband or partner to help soothe my nerves while experiencing this. I've gained 70 pounds since the diagnosis from straight binging on sugar and sometimes alcohol at night And my brothers have been extremely distant in this process as they're off living their own lives. Sorry for this essay, but I guess my question is, how do you prepare yourself for the eventual moment when you lose your parents? How can I ensure that I can stand strong and also be the best of support to my mother as we go through these challenges and changes? I'm honestly scared of the unknown, but I need to push through this so I can live a full life the way he's been encouraging me to do 2.5 years ago. Thank you for your time. Well, this is a bit heavy for this little stupid column because we be talking about stupid stuff here. This is this here be serious. But let me just share this. I found out when I was in college that my father, and he didn't really tell me, I just knew. I don't even know how I knew. He called me in his usual voice. He said, "Hey, kid." That's how he started to call me. "Hey, kid." And that's something, I don't know, I don't even know what inner sense I had. I was always real close to my father. And I just busted out and started crying. And he was like, "Why are you crying?" I said, "You have cancer, don't you?" And he was so shocked. He had just got the diagnosis that day. And just by me hearing his voice, I tuned into that man and I knew that that's what was happening. So, I mean, he lived another, I don't know. Let's see, what year was that? So I guess it was maybe another 8 or 9 years. But I started, that period where you have to transition. I mean, it's like in the Lion King, the circle of life. It's just one of them things. I mean, we start dying the second we're born and breathe our first breath. Okay, the clock is ticking now to the end. So it's like it's inevitable. We're all going to die. But what you have to do though is, you're making the best of it. You're doing things, take videos with him before he starts looking too, scary looking. Take videos together, have him tell some of his stories about his childhood or something, record this stuff. So if you ever have kids, or grandkids or whatever, you can, play those videos for them. Save that. That's the kind of stuff that I wish the technology we would have had when my grandparents were still alive. I guess I could have got a movie camera or whatever, but I don't know. It's, what you have to think about is don't think about what you're losing. Think about what you've gained. Flip it around. You have gained. I think when I tell you guys stories about my father, yeah, I miss him. But I know if he had stayed around here with that lung cancer like that, that man would have been in agony. Do I want to see my father in agony just so I could say my mom and daddy's still alive? I would hate myself for that. So you have to stop being selfish. You're thinking about yourself and, my transition is that. No, that man is going to be in extreme agony and you need to tell him to his face, "Thank you for all that you've done, the talks that we've had, the information that you taught me." And then you tell him it's okay for you to go whenever you're ready. I'm not going to try to hold you here. I want you to go to the next stage of life and you let him go with grace and dignity. Okay? Don't be guilt tripping him because they won't try to hang on to make you happy. Don't do that to him. Do not do that to him. Okay? I've seen this a lot with people. They focus on themselves and their feelings about the person and all this kind of stuff. And those people are laying there being guilt tripped and manipulated and in agony. Please don't do that to your daddy. As far as your mother goes, look into some group therapy. They have grief therapy. I took it in a group and it was like the best thing that I could have ever done for myself. And you sit around with other people who have lost loved ones and everybody cries and you tell your stories about the person. And sometimes you laugh because there's, funny stories told as well as soft and sad ones. But, you need that kind of environment and support for people who understand. Okay. That's about all I can really tell you here. This letter really should have been like a private advice question because there's a lot more I could say, but I'm not going to say it because of the format of this show. I can't devote too much time to any one person. So, but those are my initial assessments and responses to you. And I wish you and your mom the best, for your daddy to have a peaceful transition. That's the best you can hope for him. Give him whatever he needs so he's in less pain and let him go. Okay? Don't try to hold on to him. Question number 20. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Raleigh, North Carolina. Female 28 to 34. This is the other person. Summary of issue. My older cousin texts me constantly. How do I tell her to tone it down without being rude? Why can't you be rude? Why can't you text me too damn much? I have other shit to do. I'm 25 and have some extended family members on my dad's side that I rarely see or talk to them. Most of them live on the West Coast. But I no longer live there. I guess not since you're in North Carolina. And as a result, I never talk to them. They don't take an interest in my life, and that's been even more apparent since this last election in November. Okay, so she made a post on Facebook about how she was disappointed about the election results, and this cousin messaged her privately to tell me she felt the same way. We chit-chatted a bit, but I haven't seen her in person in 10 years. So it was nice just to say hi. She and I both have disabilities that are similar in age. She's about 5 years older, though. We chatted for a few days here or there, and I figured it was just pleasantries and catching up. But since November, she has been messaging me almost daily at all hours to ask how I'm doing, what I'm up to, etc. While this is fine, I'm starting to feel a bit annoyed. I don't have a problem talking to her, but it's nearly every day that she messages me. I also hesitate to message back because I know it'll be a long, drawn-out conversation about her or her family that I'm not close to or know nothing about. I don't really want to be rude, but I don't know how to go about this. We've been friends on Facebook for over 10 years, and she's never spoken to me before now. Now I feel a bit odd that we haven't spoken in all these years, and now she wants to talk all the time. She had weighed in some issues I had with my younger brother and said in a joking way, tell him his big cousin said so, when he's never even met her. It's my understanding that she's disabled enough that she received benefits and doesn't work. So I'm wondering if that plays a part in it. Like I said, I really don't want to be rude, but the constant getting messages and me feeling the need to respond is getting old. She messaged me earlier and I didn't open it because I knew if I did and didn't respond the way she wanted, she'd blow up my inbox. How do I go about this in a nice way? I don't know about nice. People who ask me, oh, thank you, Pablo. I kind of feel like getting a little choked up. That's why I had to click off from that letter. With this situation, most likely if she's disabled and she's at home, not working, she's lonely. She's lonely. And she feels like, this is what we used to call a pen pal, where you write letters back and forth, but now you get to do it by texting or emails. So what you have to do is say, cousin, I enjoy chatting with you here and there, but I don't have the time to respond to as many texts as you keep sending. I have my job, I have school, I have, whatever you got going on. And I just can't, this is too much. I can't do this level of interaction. Say, how about we just, we'll text each other or do a video call or something once a week or so, once every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever works for you, and just let it go at that, because I really don't have that much to say every day. And then she'll be like, oh, okay. That's all you have to do. Just let her know. I mean, you responding and stuff, she gonna think it's okay. She done made a new friend with her little cousin and all that kind of stuff. So if you're not okay with it, you have to let people know that. Question number 21. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Edmonton, Canada. Summary of issue. Why is this happening? I find it quite often that men get very possessive and obsessive with me, regardless of if I'm dating them or not. I have a bubbly personality and get along well with everybody. There's usually someone who has a crush on me, and then it ruins all of my friendships with men. These men act insanely jealous and punish me if I'm not interested and see me just casually conversing with others. When I go out, I get a good amount of attention from others. It's not like I'm seeking it. It just finds me and I can't help that. In fact, I typically reject a lot of men who hit on me. Well, you're in that age group where that's going to happen. I don't see how this is fair, as I'm always kind and respectful and try to be a good time for everyone. I'm just sick and tired of not being able to have guy friends because they make things weird and make me feel like it's a crime when I get approached by other men or interact with others normally. Like, do I need to be less likable? Can you explain why this is? I'm not sure why I'm responsible for their feelings, and men always want to control me all the time. Yeah, that is a problem. They do tend to get that way. They feel like if they like you, then nobody else can like you, and you can't talk to nobody else because you have to like them back. That's essentially what's going on here. But what you have to do is, I'm not saying you don't be as bubbly. I mean, if that's your personality, I want you to taper it down, though, because you have to understand men are stupid. So, they see you smiling and laughing with them and chit-chatting with them. They're going to take that and mean, oh, she likes me. Even though you're just being friendly and you would do the same whether he was male or female, you would have to respond to exactly the same way. But I'm telling you, young guys are dumb and they don't get that. And so because they have hopes because you're cute and, they're the same age and stuff, they have hopes that you're going to like them and something could jump off. And so when they see you talking to other men, that's the heartbreak, the rejection that they feel when they can see this, what they was fantasizing about is not going to happen. That's what's going on. So you're not responsible for their feelings. Tell them to get the fuck over it, that you're not their girlfriend and never will be, and stuff like that, so they can just understand what's going on. It's not fair, but it is what it is. It's just that age group. They're not very mature, and they don't really have good understanding of self. And so they do stupid stuff. Question number 22. This is a female in the 35 to 41 age group. He's African American, she rather African American, a Gemini from Washington, D.C. Summary of issue. Is it called with quote withholding nook instead of quote waiting now? That's a good question. I'm a widow who is considering dating again sometime this year. I'm not ready yet, but think I might be soon. Anyway, I don't see me sleeping with someone before I know them and we've agreed to be exclusive. Is that considered withholding nook these days? Is it considered manipulative? Well, probably by some stupid people, but the bottom line is that's your body. Okay, that's your health and your life that we're talking about. And only you decide when you want to share it and who you're going to share it with and how often and when, the first time and the last time. You make all of those decisions because it's about you. Okay, so you don't really worry about what men think. If I worried about what men think, I can't even tell you how many times I would be like broke and stupid and have made dumb decisions that shot myself in the foot, and all kind of stupid stuff would be going on in my life if I gave one fuck about what men think. I don't. Deborah only cares about what Deborah thinks. And so, you're worried about what some men you haven't even met yet might maybe think. I want you to stop. And I want you to also remember, this is a hard transition. When you've been married and you really loved your husband and he loved you, and you guys, you lose them in like an accident or something, something. Anyway, you didn't get a divorce. You just, it just ended because of something horrible. Then you will tend to have a different perception of your relationships. I want you to watch for this because I had to check myself too. When you get in a relationship with a man, you're used to treating your husband a certain kind of way, talking to him, doing certain things for him and all this kind of stuff. You have to catch yourself. Don't do that. You ain't cooking for nobody. They're going to talk, brothers are trying to come up on a plate. And, can I get a plate? Can I get a plate? What you cooking? All this kind of stuff. They're trying to get food. And they know you was married before. They know you can cook. So they're going to be trying to get their legs up under your table. Don't do that. Make them take you out on a date. You're not going to do them no favors. You're not going to make life easy for them. So remember that your husband was one thing. These are not your husband. Okay, stay focused on that. Don't treat them like they are. So yeah, you got to be very careful with that mindset though, because it's an easy one to slip into because that's what you're used to. That's how you're used to interacting with a man. But these dudes ain't that dude. So just watch for that. Yes. Yeah, that's challenging. Withholding, like they deserve it or something, like they paying you. Out of here. Question number 23. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group out of Nashville. Summary of issue. Is it normal for me to be annoyed at my partner for this? Me and my partner see each other at least once a week, and lately when he calls me, he is constantly on TikTok while on the phone call with me. And you don't hang up? Remember I told you to match energy? You ain't matching energy if you stand on the phone while he's on TikTok. Excuse me. I have some of this Pellegrino with the bubbles in it. It's making me burp. I try to put them, he doesn't really engage in conversation. I try to, but then it just dies on me because I know he's more engaged on his phone than on what I'm saying. And there are certain weeks we hardly talk due to our busy schedules at times, which is where I would think you'd want to listen and talk to someone at full attention. Nope. And sometimes he's so into the videos where I feel like I'm talking to a wall. So why do you keep doing that and treating yourself that way then? Why call me when your attention span is elsewhere watching videos? I stated to him once or twice, especially with serious conversations, like, can you not put your phone down for a few minutes and actually talk, or are you just disinterested, or am I just being over dramatic? Oh, okay. Well, that was a poorly written letter, but let us try to respond to it. This is all on you, chick. If a man calls you and he's distracted doing something else, and you're just sitting there holding the phone, that's on you, but you don't know how to hang up. You have to say, I'll talk to you when you actually have time to talk. So this ain't working for me. Or you could just trade him in for a new model because it don't really sound like he's that interested in you anyway. He only calls you because that's the way that keeps the booty call thing happening, because he makes contact with you enough to keep you interested and then set up the next booty call. That's all that's going on here. This man's not interested in you in the least. Men who are interested in you put their stuff down when they call you, especially if you only see them once a week. Hate to tell you, if that's what's going on here. So you, when he calls and he starts you trying to have a conversation and he's just on his phone or doing whatever he's doing, you just hang up and then turn your phone off so he can't call you back. That's how you train. You have to train men. You have to give them punishments and rewards like you train dogs. If he puts his phone down and really talks to you, then he gets a reward. What that means, I don't know. You figure that out. But when he does some stupid stuff and doesn't talk to you and treat you right, then you give him a punishment, which is he gets blocked for the night. Well, my husband used to do that when we were first dating, and I'm this is why I could speak from experience, because they want to talk to you. He was so busy. I mean, he was just insane because he had he was running his own business, and so he was like crazy busy all the time. But he would call and he would be trying to multitask, right? He's doing something on his computer and he's supposed to be talking to me, or he's with his friends over, he watching a game or something with them, and then he want to talk to me though before I go to bed. I think that happened twice. And I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. When you're free and you're not doing nothing else, then you can call me. If you're trying to do 2 or 3 things at one time and think I'm going to just be here on the phone, holding the phone, we're not going to do that. So you figure that out, and then you call me when you have a block of time. And so that's what he would do. Even if it was only 5 minutes, I would have his 100% full attention. And then he'll say, well, okay, babe, I got to go because, blah, 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 I got a meeting. I got to get on the road. That's, blah, 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 whatever it is. And then, okay, but I say, okay, that's fine. I'll talk to you later. And I wouldn't be mad because I'm not the kind of want to spend like hours on the phone. I don't understand why people do that. So, 5 or 10 minute conversation, that's plenty for me. I'm ready to go do something else right now. So, yeah. So you have to just, you're not putting any boundaries in place. You're allowing yourself to be treated like this. You have to fix that. I can't fix it for you. Okay, question 24. This is a female. We got 32 questions, so we're getting near the end. I'm going good today. I'm rolling through these. She's 18 to 21 from Indianapolis. The male is 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend screamed at me for wanting to buy him a Christmas present. Is considering ending things appropriate? I am 19 and have been dating my boyfriend who is 24. Oh, okay, that's a pretty big gap. For 4 months. Lately, our relationship has been really tumultuous, and I'm struggling to decide whether to continue or end things. Yesterday, he completely lost his temper with me because I wanted to buy him a Christmas present. Here's the full context. He lost his mother 16 years ago, and since then, he hasn't celebrated Christmas. I understand that the holidays can be incredibly tough for him, and I've been trying to be supportive and considerate of his feelings. This year, I bought a small, thoughtful gift that I thought might help him feel less alone during the holidays. But he told you, okay, that he hasn't celebrated Christmas. So why did you do that? All right, okay. I asked him for a small gift idea or something, but instead of appreciating the gesture, he exploded on me. He yelled at me, telling me that I was forcing my belief system on him, that I was being pushy and disrespectful for even suggesting a present. At one point, he told me to go fuck myself and said if I wanted someone to do normal holiday stuff, I should just leave him then. It was incredibly hurtful and felt so manipulative, especially since all I was trying to do was show him love and care. But he already told you he doesn't celebrate that. So what he said about you being disrespectful and manipulative, because, you were asking for ideas and trying to, quote, put it under the cover of being nice to stuff it down his throat, he was right. You did not respect his wishes at all. You wanted him to do what you wanted him to do, what you wanted to do. And then when it wasn't received well, which he already told you it wasn't going to be, now you want to play the victim. You got cussed out and you deserved it. He told you to go fuck yourself. I would have said a whole bunch more than that, worse than that to you. She says he's been very avoidant with his feelings. Whenever there's a problem, he insists everything's fine or not a big deal. but I often have to push him to open up. See, you just pushing, you just demanding that he do things the way that you want to. You're controlling. You're a very controlling person. This is not going to work. Eventually, all the bottle of emotion explode into a massive argument days later because you keep fucking pushing him. You just mashing him instead of just letting the man, leave the man alone. Oh, my God. The latest incident with the Christmas present has made me seriously question if this is the final straw. I deeply care about him and understand that he's grieving and dealing with a lot, but his constant avoidance, self-loathing, and hostile reactions are emotionally draining. I don't want to keep feeling like I have to tiptoe around his triggers or that my attempts to support him are met with aggression and disrespect. Is this something I should continue to foster and help him? No, what you need to do is grow the fuck up and listen to when people tell you something about themselves and what they want for their life. You just totally just ignoring everything that he said. Do you understand what you're doing to him? And then you wonder why he's blew up at you. He already told you, I don't celebrate Christmas and haven't for 16 years. But I just wanted to give him something thoughtful. But he told you not to do that. And you did it anyway, looking for some other kind of reaction. But he did what he said. I don't celebrate. You're lucky he didn't throw it in your face. Then, with his constant avoidance and self-loathing and hostile reactions but you brought all that on yourself, though. You drive the man crazy. You driving me crazy, and I'm just reading the letter. I can just imagine how you are. Oh, but what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? I can tell something. And he's okay. By the time you bug him all that, then something is wrong because he's irritated like fuck about you bugging him like that. Girl, you need to grow up. If a man told me I don't celebrate Christmas, I would have been like, bet, just think about all this money I'm going to save. I don't have to get you nothing. And then you say he has emotion. He doesn't, things are fine and it's not a big deal. Well, maybe it's not a big deal to him. You seem to just make everything a big deal. If he said it's not a big deal, just listen to respect his choice. He says it's not big, that means it's not a big deal. Yeah. And then she mad because he, cussed her ass out. I'm like, this girl is stupid. Question number 25, male, 22 to 27 from Austin, Texas. Summary of issue. What to do with my girlfriend getting upset with me when I hang out with my guy friends, and why is this happening? Because she's stupid. That's the answer. Like single, tell, married, and because they're stupid is the answer to 99.9% of these relationship questions that y'all send in. This show could be so short, I could just have it over the sign. Single, tell, married, and then on the other hand, you're stupid. Right? How fast would this show be? If reading the letters would take the longest. Yeah, she's not respecting him at all. So yeah, this relationship, you should break up with him because you not doing right. Okay, so your girlfriend is upset because you hang out with your guy friends and you want to know why this is happening. I'm 21 and have an upcoming sleepover, gaming, drinking, hangout with my old friends at the end of the year. See, remember I told you my column's 2 weeks behind now, so these questions are old. However, my girlfriend is upset when I said I had plans with my male friends. We are currently long distance and been dating for over a year. Long distance started recently and we're ending in February. The hangout will just be males and we will be celebrating New Year together. We do this at the end of every year and this is the only time I see my old friends. On the other hand, my girlfriend said she was expecting to call me and spend the New Year with me while watching a movie, eating together, etc., through a video call. I know that she wants to spend quality time with me, but is there any way to comfort her or change the way she is and be able to let me hang out with my male friends? I really love her and want a long, healthy relationship with her. I always update her time to time whenever I hang out with my friends. Is there any other things I could do? Yes, tell her that you're going to go anyway, and for her to call and hang out on the phone with some of her friends, right? Sir, let me tell you something right now. You have a woman who's trying to control you, where she don't want you to do something, and that's totally innocuous. I mean, I can imagine these are your friends from back home or whatever, because you're in college age, and that's probably what's going on. I'm just guessing since that's your age. You're probably your friends that you grew up with, and that's, because during the holidays, when you're out of school for break and all that stuff. So I'm putting, kind of filling in the blanks and figuring that's what it is. These are the people that you grew up with, elementary school, neighborhood friends, that kind of stuff. And you only get to see them once a year when you're home for the holidays. So I'm going to say this. You tell her, well, I'm sorry that you're upset, but I'm going to go anyway, and you're going to get over it. And if you don't get over it, then we could break up. Because one thing I'm not going to have is somebody trying to control what I do. So which choice is it? You got A or B. There's no C here. You're going to either like it and get over it, or we can break up and I'll be single and I can do what the fuck I want to whenever I want to. Which one is it? And you put her behind on the spot and let her make a choice. She's going to be sniveling and crying and stuff and just say, I'll talk to you later when you fit up, when all these waterworks is over. And just hang up the phone. You don't ever let a woman control you. Don't ever let that happen. And ladies, you don't let it happen either. Everybody's making all these crazy demands and telling what you can't, who you can't see and where you can't go and friends you can't have and all this kind of stuff, putting trackers on your phone and whatnot. The hell with all of that. You don't tolerate that kind of stuff. And you sitting up there trying to figure out how you can make it happen. See, you're feeding into it. You're giving her way more power over you than she should have. She's not even your wife. I mean, sometimes wives be like, no, you go to that home with your family, your wife and your kids, motherfucker. That's what's going to happen here. Oh, then, that's a little different situation. You might have to do the friendship thing every other year or something like that if you get married. But it depends. I mean, she might want to do something like that with her friends too and not be tripping. You just never know how it's going to roll. But I'm telling you now, put your foot down. And notice is after the fact, but I'm sure you got the notice from Candace that the letter was in the column. So I want you to listen to this. And I want you, for any other occasion in the future, you go. And I hope you did go. I know I'm late with the response, but I hope you went. But just keep that in mind for future. You don't ever let somebody tell you what you're not going to do and try to get you to change your plans for them. Don't do it. Question number 26. A young lady, 22 to 27 from Philly. Issue: how do you deal with exes moving on with others? Hey, exes. I am 25 and have been in multiple relationships, and of the more serious ones I've been in, 3 of them, they were unfortunately ended things with me. This is really draining, as I always ask them what I did wrong, if there's anything I can do better. And every single time it's something along the lines of, you just deserve better than me. And I never get any other answers. So far of those 3, only one is definitely in another relationship. But this was years after we broke up. So I'm finding peace with it, even though a part of me still stings. The other 2 ended this past year, so I'm worried about how I feel if they started seeing other people soon. It especially sucks when they say I did nothing wrong and that I deserve more, yet they couldn't change for me, but they could change for the new girl. How do you know that he changed for the new girl? You don't know that. I'm wondering how to cope with that feeling of not being enough as I see the guys I used to date be with other girls. Okay, you tripping hard. First of all, once you break up with somebody, what they do and who they do it with and how they do it with and stuff like that is not your business. Secondly, you don't ever ask somebody that doesn't want you what you did wrong or what you could do better and different. It makes you sound desperate. First, because what that man liked and what that particular man wanted and stuff is probably only exclusive to him. It don't mean any other man on this planet is going to have that same opinion. And so you're trying to base who you are going into the future on what somebody who rejected you says. That's a stupid thing to ask somebody. You're just asking to get your feelings hurt. They can tell you anything, but these guys seem like they decent folks. And they just said that it's not you, it's them. They just want to get rid of your ass. But it's like, you sitting up there asking, sometimes you might get somebody like me who would be like, okay, well, let me tell you, sit down over there. And then sit there while I sit over here and cross my legs and proceed to read you like a book and hurt every feeling you ever had because you asked me a stupid question. So you deserve a stupid rogue answer. You don't ever ask a man what you did wrong and how you could improve and what you could do better. You don't never ask them that. So once you fix your lips to say that, he knew you was a fool. You couldn't even hide it. My God. Who's raising these girls? Their parents aren't telling them anything about how to handle men and be in relationships and stuff. Nothing. You never ask somebody that. They've already rejected you. So you really should not at that point give a fuck what he wants, what he thinks, what he likes, nothing. He's a non-motherfucking factor in your life from that point forward. So you don't go groveling asking him about anything, about his opinion of you. Question number 27. Female, 18 to 21 from Kansas City, Missouri. Summary of issue: what should I do if a man is following me and I feel threatened? Recently, I was shopping at a thrift store and was followed around by a man. I thought innocently of it at first. Okay, that's why, because you're young, you don't know. But he kept walking back and forth behind me and circling around the same part of the store, the women's clothing, and he was alone, just to stand behind me and stare at me. I'm only 20 years old, and this guy had to be in his 50s. He would just say, I'm sorry, then continue to stand close to me and pretend to look at the clothing or behind me, and he did this multiple times. Thankfully, I was with my mom, so I went to her and told her what happened, and she told me she'd noticed him acting creepy too. She watched as he kept returning to where we were standing and called him out, and then he left. He probably thought you were younger than 20. But this situation made me realize how if I was alone, I'd have no idea how to handle it. I was so terrified thinking about how little power I truly have against a stranger when I don't know what their intentions are or how physically weak I am. I don't know if the right thing to do would have been to stay calm or make a scene. What would be the best thing to do in a similar situation if I was alone? Well, you're in a store, they have security, they have employees. So you just approach one of them or wave one over, come listen, and they're gonna think they're about to get a commission or a sale or something. So it's not gonna be anything where he's gonna be alarmed because you wave a staff member over. And then you say, this creepy dude right here keeps following me around the store and staring at me. It's making me really feel threatened. And then we're in the women's section. I want to be able to shop peacefully. Can you get rid of this clown? And then they'll do it. They can look on the surveillance, what they call the cameras that they have in the store, security cameras, and see him, following you around and stuff and see that it's true. So that's all you have to do. And if you want somebody to, walk you to your car afterwards, you do that. If he gets to the point where he touches you, you whip out your phone and you call 911 and you say, I'm over here in whatever store, and this man is groping me. And then you take a picture of him because you want to be able to give it to the police when they come. Because a lot of these dudes are on the registry. They're on the sex offender registry. So if you have a picture of him and they see that he's on their list, then he gonna have a problem. So, don't be afraid though. See, that's what they thrive on, is intimidation and fear. That's why the little hood girls would turn around, motherfucker, what you following me around the store for, you fucking freak? They would say something like that to him, right? And dude would scurry off like the rat that he is. But the fact that when you act afraid, that emboldens them. And so he just kept doing it because he knew you were either A, didn't know what was going on, or B, was too scared to do anything about it. So either way, you set a dynamic in motion where they get, they feel more and more powerful and more emboldened, and you become more and more of a scared little victim. So you don't do that. I just told you how to handle it. You let the staff handle it. Or you better put on in your inner Shaniqua and go left on them. Either one works for me. I'm be fully supportive of whichever choice you make. Glad your mom was there though. Maybe you should talk to your mother about this and ask her that question. See what she has to say. Question number 28. This is a female, 22 to 27, and she's African American from Roxbury/Boston, Massachusetts, male, 28 to 34. Oh, so maybe one of them's in Roxbury, one of them's in Boston. Maybe, I don't know. I have been with my boyfriend going through depression is the summary of the issue. I have been with my current boyfriend for 4 months now. We love each other, have confessed it. Our physical intimacy is amazing, and he is so sweet. I truly love him. The deal is he has had a very tough life till this day, with abusive parents to poverty, you name it, which led to his current depression. It's hard, especially since he has very intense seizures at night every once in a while. Wow. When we got together, I treated him kindly. He was shocked and still is because no one ever treated him like that. It hasn't even occurred to him that he deserved this kind of treatment. He sometimes gets depressed and doesn't like talking. And he tells me often that he feels numb most of the time, which sometimes leads to him being kind of distant. I addressed this issue with him before, and he acknowledged my feelings, saying that he cares about me, but he doesn't know how or what to say or how to act due to the fact that he's tired emotionally, and that's the first time he had that someone ever cared about him. I went through a really bad breakup before this relationship, which left me feeling uneasy about anything. I got ghosted after 8 months, which affected my anxiety. So when my anxiety hits and his depression hits, it's an emotional mess. I need your advice. And if any listeners have been through a similar experience, and maybe what the best way is to support a depressed partner to put some passion back into his soul. You know what I mean? And I need your advice on how to navigate my anxiety with his depression so the issues don't clash over each other. Note, we discussed therapy and he's looking for a good doctor, but I want to try to help him as well. You can't help him. This is beyond the scope of your abilities. You are not nobody's doctor, phys D, nothing. Okay. You a PhD, MA, psychology, nothing. You don't have no skills in this area. So for you to sit up there and thinking that you're going to fix somebody this broken, you're wasting your time. What could I, what would I recommend? That you dip out on this situation. All it's going to do is just drain you. And you already got mental issues talking about you got anxiety. You don't need to be with somebody who's depressed. That's like two kooks together. Girl, what in the world? How did you happen to find this loser? This boy can't do nothing for himself, so how can he do anything for you? You just in this caretaking mode where you want to try to fix somebody like his ass is Humpty Dumpty and he fell off a wall. Leave him where he fell and tell him you can't do this no more and go and find somebody else. Really what you need to do is get your behind in some therapy. Because you've gone down the wrong track. This is too much for somebody your age. You're in the 22 to 27 age group and he's 28 to 34. That man is old and you sit up there thinking you can fix him and change him and heal all his wounds. I don't understand what it is about you young girls. Think you can just nurse everybody back to health. You ain't fixing nobody. Fix yourself. Because if you had the power to fix something, you wouldn't be sitting up here talking about you have anxiety. Okay? Normal people don't have anxiety. People who are not normal have anxiety. So that means you need some mental health treatment yourself. You are not qualified and don't have the skills or the abilities or the energy or anything else to make this man better. Work on yourself, okay? When you don't have the anxiety anymore, then you can find somebody normal. But right now, neither one of you need to be in a relationship. Question number 29. This is a male in the 18 to 21 age group from Liverpool, England. Females also 18 to 21. Summary of issue. How do I address that my girlfriend's working hours are affecting our relationship? We are both 20 and we've been over this before. And she says it's mostly because it's holiday season in retail. She works at a makeup store. However, this issue has been ongoing for months. We're university students on break and I'm seeing her less than I would during the academic year. I'm not sure how to bring this up without her taking it personally. When I try, she usually says I'm taking things too personally or being dramatic. Once in a while, she comes to her senses and cry and tell me she realizes she hasn't been treating me very nicely. Obviously, reassure and forgive her, but things never really get better. A few days ago, she also floated the idea of a second casual job on top of her current one, which I disagreed with because we are barely spending quality time together as it is. She told me I am being dramatic and nothing will come of it, but not until she graduates, of course. Most days she is too tired from work to have any meaningful interactions and is affecting my desire and interest in speaking to her, which she has noticed and taken issue with. I'm not sure how to best address the root cause of the issue without being confrontational. Do you have any advice? Yes, just break up. Let me tell you what's going on here. This is a young lady who's trying to make some money and build up the coffers during the break, where she has the opportunity to make a lot of money. All right. So when she go back to school, she'll have some cabbage in her account while you sit around whining about her because she got around looking at you, not making no money. So, this is not gonna work long term. She's out like she got some goals and she's working towards them. And it includes making money. And you want her to sit around and look at you and date you and sleep with you and all that kind of stuff. So you have a situation where, just like I tell the women, you have needs in a relationship that they're not getting met. When you have a situation like that and the partner clearly tells you that they're on a whole different page and a different book and they don't have no interest in talking about what you're talking about, then you leave that relationship. Because you're the one responsible for making sure that you get the relationship that you want. You cannot try to force your partner to do that. Okay, you can't do it. She's not interested. She's already told you she's got other plans. You've tried talking to her and she's not receptive. So you say, well, you know what we're going to have to do, because I have emotional needs that are not being met. And it sounds like, I don't want to stand in your way. It sounds like you have a lot of stuff you're trying to do. I'm very proud of you for doing that, but it's making me feel lonely and, whatever. And so let's just break up and just be friends. And then that's what you do. No problem. She's probably not going to like it, but it is what it is. And you don't need her approval. This is about you and what you want, and she's not giving you what you need. Question number 30. We got 2 more questions after this. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. She's of mixed racial heritage from the Bronx in New York. Summary of issue: I'm never using dating apps again. This is not really a question, more of a warning to other ladies. For me, I don't care how lonely I get, I will not do it again. I have not met one normal person from a dating app. Damn. The last guy I spoke to was a self-proclaimed, quote, nice guy, end quote, but turned out to be a walking ick. Deb, not only did he smell awful and look nothing like his photos, but he made up a whole story and facade to cover up his financial situation, which was so bad he could barely afford basic necessities. But he out there trying to get some swerve on. His priorities are jacked. He told me he made everything up because he could tell I invested in and took care of myself. So he wanted to be, quote, worthy. But you're not worthy. You're only putting up a front. Well, he was right on that one. I do take care of myself. I invest in myself. And I've learned to protect myself from being taken advantage of, used, and abused. So I cut this guy off pretty quickly. Not only did he tell the most pathological and extensive lies, but he was also a self-proclaimed, quote, blunt and honest person, end quote, which was simply him excusing his rude and insensitive remarks towards people. On the first date, I immediately felt, first date? Okay, I hope that was the only one. I immediately felt a pit in my stomach. He gave me Jeff Dahmer vibes. After the date, we talked some more, and he complimented me. I jokingly said, thanks for the sympathy compliment, and patted him on the shoulder as if to say, you're sweet. He snapped and said, don't pat me, bro. I was like, whoa, what the hell? I should have run in, but I was too scared of breaking his heart. Why? It's one date. Ooh, you tripping. The emotional instability did not end there. He would get agitated and offended at almost everything. Even the slightest deflection in my voice would have him overthinking, offended, and needing reassurance. Oh my God, that sounds exhausting. She said it was exhausting. I broke things off and he started crying and threatening to kill himself. He did this for about 2 days before I officially put my foot down. I offered him support, but said I needed space, even I wanted to block him because he said he understands why men have treated women like trash. Wow. I was afraid that he would hurt me. So I also gave him $400 to help him out, and he dipped. He's been hitting me with sob stories. First, his dad was dying, then he was getting evicted, and now he's saying his cat has kidney disease, which I'm skeptical about because his dad is fine and he never got evicted. Like I said in the beginning, he's also a liar and even created a 2-week work trip to disguise the fact that he needed to wait a couple of more weeks to have enough money to take me on a date. So I don't trust this, and I just want to block him, but I'm still nervous because he seems unhinged. He even mentioned how he was going to get me these $1,000 diamond earrings because he had credit at this jewelry store, but I just want him completely out of my life. This isn't the worst dating app experience, but it is the most recent. I just want him gone. Okay. Well, I told y'all what I told that dude who called me talking about his grandmother needs some medicine. I'm like, tell that old bitch to go to the lake. She old anyway. No need to try to save her. Let her go. I have no sympathy for these kind of games. They don't like it when they come at me with this stuff because I just say rude things back. Now, I'm just really curious why you gave somebody $400. Of course, he's going to keep calling you because he thinks more of where that came from. I'm not even giving him $4. I'm not giving him shit. You have $400 to spare, you can just give it to me. Yeah, you sound like a nut. If I was her, I would change my number. Blocking is not sufficient because he could call from another phone and she would answer. No, we're going to get a whole new number. That's what we're going to do. And then I want you to get you a Google line, like I said, so they won't be getting your real phone number. Or use WhatsApp or one of these other, VoIP line things. You don't give these fools your real phone number. That's what y'all get me. I'm sitting up there texting all the damn time. You have to feel like you need to give them your real number. You better text on one of them apps. Yeah, that would be what my recommendation is. Change your number because you only do that with one time, so you don't know where you live. Hopefully you didn't tell them where you work. And you can hide your profile on that site to block it so that everybody can see it but him. And then you change your number. That's what I would recommend. Okay? Change your number. If he's made any contacts with you on social media, block him there as well. Question number 31. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Fresno, California. The male is 20 to 34. Third issue, is it okay to want to break up because he's extroverted and I'm introverted? My boyfriend is extremely extroverted. He has about 20 friends and I only have one. He loves going out clubbing and partying and getting super drunk, whereas I like to stay in and do something chill like going to dinner or the movies. For New Year's Eve, his friend invited us to a party he was hosting at his family's cabin out of town, and all their other friends would be there. They all live next to each other, so they hang out regularly. It's not like any of them haven't seen each other in a long time. I declined the invitation because they were spending literally 24 hours together. I would have agreed to go if it was just a regular party where I spend a few hours and then go home, but this is way too much socializing for me. I told my boyfriend I'd be okay with him going without me because I don't want him to miss out and want him to have fun. He ended up going without me, and although I'm happy for him, I'm also sad for me. I felt really lonely and wished I had a boyfriend who was also introverted and would have loved to have a chill night or maybe go out for a nice dinner together for New Year's Eve. Well, okay, what you're asking for is for him to change his personality for you. You see that that's who he is. Okay, you know who he is. So if you're not comfortable with who he is, then you don't date him. It's that simple. You go find somebody who likes to be a homebody like you, and then y'all be homebodies together. But you want to go date somebody who's exciting and fiery and interesting and all this kind of stuff because your little quiet life is boring. And then you want to be mad because he's like that. But you picked him though. So either you're going to accept it and stop pouting like a little toddler, or you're going to go and say, you know, I think I need a man who's more quiet and has less friends and has more time for me. And then you go find that. Those are the only two choices. Asking him to change who he is for you is inappropriate. And it's going to cause resentment, and y'all would end up breaking up anyway. So don't even do that. And our final question of this lovely night. I can't believe I probably could do 32 questions because I haven't done the show for so long. So I'm not worn out. This young lady is in 22 to 27 age group. She's Caucasian from Bradford, West Yorkshire in the UK. Summary of issue. Guy I'm dating lied about having a child. I am 26 and I met this guy about 27 online around 7 months ago. We have been dating since, seeing each other weekly. We live about a half-hour drive from each other. He used to work remotely and would go into his office once a week, but he lost that job recently. He's not asked me to be his girlfriend, and this is something I've brought up on 2 occasions. He always said he understood why I wanted things to be official, but he was waiting until he was in a better financial position. We had a conversation about being, quote, exclusive. But this week, he told me that he wanted to have a chat with me. He revealed that he has a son who was born a month before we started dating. He said he has wanted to tell me for a while, but he was nervous about that, and he wanted to make sure we were at a solid stage before doing so. He said that there were times whilst working, he would visit his son during the week. Him and his son's mother are not on good terms. What should I do? This is a huge breach of trust for me, especially as this has been hidden for so long. I really like this guy, so I'm really conflicted. Well, okay, my question is, I don't see where you say he lied, but I don't see where you said you asked him and he said he didn't have any. So what that communicates to me is you never asked. So he didn't lie to you. He just kept some information from you that really was his personal business. And he shouldn't have went around telling you because you guys weren't in a situation, like he said, where there's some information that you would need to know. So I'm not mad at him for the way he handled things. He did tell you. And then you want to be mad because he didn't tell you from out the gate. Do you like the man or not? Do you like the man enough to be around him and his kid? That's not your kid. If the answer to that question is no, then you just dip now. Don't use that as a reason though. Just dip because I really wasn't prepared to help co-parent anyone's children. That's going to be what you're going to say. So you're not going to make it without the fact that he didn't tell you because, like I said, that really wasn't your business to know. I tell women that all the time. Don't go around telling me these men, your kids and how old they are and stuff like that. Because for them freak types, they're going to be tuned into that. Because if it's in their target attraction age range, they're going to be all over your kid. And you just there just because you was the one that made the access happen. They're not interested in you at all. So you have to be very careful about talking about your children. So I'm not mad at him about that. I'm not mad at him about that at all. Plus, he probably wanted to wait and get a DNA test to make sure it was really his kid anyway, before he said anything, which would also be a sensible move to make. So, him, you not, like I said, you're going to break it off, but it's not going to be because of that. You're going to just tell him, I'm glad you told me because, you know, I'm still this age, whatever. And because you're younger than him, as I recall, right? Yeah, you're 22 to 27. Oh, so you're 26. Okay, and he's 20. Oh, so, well, not that much younger. But you're not prepared at 26 to be co-parenting anyone's child. And that's what you tell him. And then you wish him luck and say, thank you for telling me. I hope you guys, you know, have a great life together. And then you just, boop, deuce out. That's all you have to do. It's not hard. Okay. So anyway, this was 2 hours of wonderfulness. I made it through. Hookup apps, is that what they are? Ugh. But you know, since most men can't really put it down anyway, why are they even trying it? They're on, as they say, they be online showing off their disability. And you be mad if you go there and get your lingerie on and stuff smelling all good. And then that should be lasting for 33 seconds. And they be like, oh, that was great. It's like, I beg to differ, but whatever. So anyway, I hope you guys become a subscriber because I don't know when the next show is. I mean, I try and this stuff be happening and then I just can't do it. I'm working on getting a couple of guests for February Day. We're going to do this. We used to do video a day, February, which was a video or a guest every single day. Basically, it was a show every day for the month of February. But I'm old now. I can't do it. It's too much. So we're going to do February Day and just do it starting at noon and going as long as I can hang. And I plan to have a couple of guests in there. We're going to do audience participation questions and answers and discussion of topics. And then we're going to do some advice questions from the column. It's going to just be a full day of all things relationships and working on, like I said, working on getting guests. And we'll see how many I can get. I told them they only have to be on about 30 minutes. So there'll be plenty of time. Probably, could fit 3 or 4 or 5 people over the course of the day. But let's just see what happens. So that's what's going on there. Oops. Oh, okay, here it is. I have so many images. I need to get rid of some of these things. But yeah, so hit the subscribe button. Make sure you recheck your instant notifications, even those of you who are already subscribers, because as I understand it, sometimes YouTube unchecks them or something. So gotta just, check your registration for the channel and make sure that you're still subscribed and that your instant notification thing is still ticked, because it's an issue that's, I don't know what YouTube is doing about it, but it keeps coming up over and over again. People complain about that. So other than that, I'll see you guys soon. When? I can't promise you that. Just know that it'll be soon. Bye.